The following program is presented by its producer through the facilities of Manhattan Cable Television in accordance with government regulations. We are not responsible for the content of the program, and its transmission does not imply our approval.
This is Richard Roffman. We're on the air on cable TV, 20 years, and we're very proud to have very exciting guests. Our first guest today, in person, is Florence Morrison, leading spinto lyric soprano, very famous for her Verdi and Puccini roles, and traveling all over the world, getting tumultuous applause. And I just want to ask her a question today that has always been bothering me a little bit. It has been said about your voice that it's exciting, but it also has personality. What causes a voice to have an exciting and also a personality, and what is meant by that personality word in connection with voice? Please.
Well, excitement is what opera is all about, and the way the composers wrote the music, it was written so that the voice, if you sing properly, in an opera house would be soaring, and you'd have diminuendos, and all this makes this very important and immediate connection with the audience. Now, personality in the voice is how you interpret the role, and you are playing that character, the role, and through the role and through your voice, a personality should come through. And that is, I think, why I'm getting people interested in me as a Verdian soprano, Puccini soprano, and why I got standing ovations in Rome, because they seem to feel that I do have this personality in the voice.
And
so
now,
I'm happy about that.
I'm happy about that too, and so is the whole world of opera loving. And now I just want to hear the voice of Florence Morrison, an excerpt from her Puccini album, which is on sale wherever good recordings of opera music are sold. Florence Morrison has been likened to some of the greatest opera singers of the recent past and the present, and soon we're going to hear a lot of opera news about her that will make headlines. I want to say hello now to a gentleman who is a very charming man, Bart Van Bollen. He is an executive of a company here called the National Care Organization on Fifth Avenue, and they are concerned with the question of clean air, anti-pollution air, air that can be fragrant and healthful. The other day I went into a restaurant called Geneva on 55th Street between Fifth Avenue and Avenue of the Americas, and I said to the people there, why is your air so, marvelous? I mean, I just don't get any bad taste in my mouth or my nose or anywhere. And he said it's because of a company called iClean, and Mr. Van Bollen represents this company, National Care, which is responsible for this kind of an insertion or equipment placement. So tell me a little bit about it, please. I just want to ask you, what is iClean, would you please?
Well, although very simple, it's the most efficient air cleaning medium. Like for instance this, like this strainer here, it filters. Instead of walking around like this all day,
Yes.
just to prevent or to
Yeah, and
sterilize,
yeah, it just
filter,
it absolutely does a very great job of
it just purifies the air.
purifies the air.
Home, car, working area have to be a fortress of environmental pollution. This is the concept, or the system behind the iClean concept.
What's special though about this company as against any other organization? I mean, it does something very special. It, I think, has brought this to the highest point of development and fulfillment. And do you provide air cleaning filters for every kind of atmosphere, every kind of environment?
Every kind of environment. Primarily, babies have to be protected. Their immunity system is not yet accurate to pull up against the environmental pollution. Although elderly and sick people, where the immunity system is much more vulnerable.
I understand, by the way, that some people say household dust is not really dangerous, it's harmless. And the answer is, from what I hear from scientists and doctors, it's not harmless. It can be injurious and noxious and help and, you know, and cause troubles. Yeah.
Of course, that's also why we have nowadays an enormous increase in allergic illness. Let's face it, 1 out of 3 Americans is an allergy sufferer.
That's true, that's true. Well, I know that at the Geneva restaurant, people who ordinarily start to wheeze and cough and so on and so forth, absolutely nothing ever happens to them. They're completely safe. And that's what happens wherever such a system as iClean is shall I say, inserted into the either the heating or the cooling system of whatever that atmosphere is. It works with radiators as well as air conditioners?
On all kinds of heating and cooling systems.
Yeah, good. Well, I just want to say thank you. You've put me in mind to think about atmosphere and anti-pollution, and I'm certainly going to try to stimulate interest in this particular subject. The name of the company is National Care, and they're on 5th Avenue in New York. A telephone number to call, by the way, for further information is 212-682-4580. 682-4580. I want to say hello now that I am delighted to meet a young friend named Kim Thompson, who's the president of the Thompson Model and Talent Management Organization, and she's going to give us a sensational fashion show of furs right here and now. Welcome to Kim Thompson. Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Let's go. Here we go. Where's the action? What's happening? Okay.
This is Donna Marie.
And Donna Marie is wearing a natural heather female mink coat.
Thank you, Donna.
Very good. And the second voice you heard, by the way, is the voice of a very charming lady by the name of Joanne Campbell, who is connected with the Irving, Symes, and Son Furriers in New York on the famous 7th Avenue. Okay, now another. Who's that now?
This is Cece Sabina.
And Cece is wearing a Red Cross fox coat.
Okay, let's go. That's wonderful.
Lovely.
Beautiful. Let's move along, please.
This is Maya.
And Maya's in a natural black llama mink.
Very good. That's
You wear it
great.
well, Maya. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any more? 2 more? Let's go. Every second
This
counts,
is Michelle
unfortunately.
Priebus.
And Michelle is in a natural tanuki.
Well,
Thank
well.
you.
Certainly going to be warm in that.
This is Carrie.
And she is in one of the most exclusive furs, Russian sable.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay.
This is Catherine Olson.
And she is in wild mink.
Wild mink. Wow, that sounds wild.
Thank you.
Okay.
Last but not least is by Janice Reyes.
Mm-hmm.
And she really fits this Canadian lynx.
Right. Well,
She's as wild as a coat.
yes. Very good. She may catch cold.
Thank you, Janice.
Hope she doesn't catch cold. Kim Thompson, thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
And thank you to Joanne Campbell. And more about that on another segment in a moment. I want to say hello now to Bob Williams, who is Public Information Director of the Greater New York Councils of the Boy Scouts of America, a wonderful organization. And he's going to tell you about an event that's happening right now at the famous Port Authority Passenger Ship Terminal, the greatest recent history Boy Scout event. What is it?
Well, we're having a show, Mr. Roffman. We are having a Boy Scout show, an exposition here in New York. It is billed as the largest gathering of its kind anywhere in the history of scouting since 1910. It's going to be right here, April 1st, on the West Side Passenger Terminal.
That's good. And people can go. Scouts in uniform will be admitted free. Civilians will pay a small admission, like $3 for admission. $1 from each ticket stays with the local troop making the sale, with the balance going to defray show cost. Now, it'll be open for how many days?
All right, it's one day only.
One
It's running from 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon.
Oh, great.
There's enough to see. In fact, it's going to start, you may know this, we just got confirmation. It'll begin about 9:30 in the morning with skydivers coming from the West Point skydiving team. Will come out of helicopters and they'll land at the feet of your friend and mine, Mayor Koch, who will
great.
snip the ribbon and start the show going. There's enough to see, so anyone who has children may want to come down. You don't have children, come down. It's going to be an exposition.
The Greater New York
It's
Council's
unusual.
Boy Scouts of America, by the way, is the world's largest council with a membership of over 90,000 amongst New York's 5 boroughs. Very good. I want to say hello now to Harry McKenzie. Harry McKenzie has come to New York from California. He's written a book, which we're holding up. It's something called Family Reunions. How to do it. What's the subtitle? How to plan yours. Family Reunions. Now, here's a gentleman who's a well-known writer and so on. And how'd you come to write this book?
Well, Richard, this book came about of 10 years of planning family reunions, and we thought this would be the ideal thing to do for people all over the United States.
What's the first move? What's the first step when I want to plan the Roffman clan reunion?
The first step is to read chapter 1 of this book, which goes through all the planning stage, tell you how to set up your family reunion executive board. Then you would move right from that step to the second chapter, which deals with all the communication. It deals, in fact, you don't even have to basically do any writing. They have form letters writing here that you can just photocopy and use for your family reunion. Then it goes to the third chapters, which are transportation, tell you how to get there by plane, and takes in concern of the elderly, the senior citizen, the handicapped, and the whole work. Then you move to the more better part of the book, you might say, is the section in chapter 4, which deals with nutrition. That's all the food that you want to have.
What to serve, huh?
Yeah, what to serve.
I'll be there for the party.
Okay.
Okay.
Then it moves right on to chapter 5, which is all the fun, the entertainment, the awards, the banquets, and the whole work.
Hold it up again so people can see. It's a very attractive book. It's on sale wherever good books are sold. I think Walden Books has it.
Walden Book, Barnes & Noble, the Kristen publication here in New York, all have features.
And the publisher is officially McKinsey, not Mackenzie, but McKinsey Publishing of Los Angeles. And if you want a long-distance number to call them and say, I got the book right away, 213-934-7685. Thank you very much. I want to say hello now to our good friend Albert Bolin, the singer whose name was in the New York Post today. He's a member of Joe Franklin's family of people who go around and entertain at all kinds of affairs, that nursing homes and senior citizens residents. But he also is a Bing Crosby fan club president. And here he is with his own music.
Maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm weak and maybe I'm strong, but nevertheless I'm in love with you. Maybe I'll win and maybe I'll lose, and maybe I'm in for crying the blues, but nevertheless I'm in love with you. I don't know how it lands, what terrible chances I'm taking. pine at the stars, and left with a heart that is breaking. Maybe I'll live a life of regret, and maybe I'll give much more than I'll get, but nevertheless I'm in love with you.
Well, that's beautiful. And Mr. Albert Boland sang last night at a special party preceding the St. Patrick's Day celebration at Peggy Doyle's restaurant downtown, where the paintings of famous artists named Bambi Blake were on the walls and adorning the place. Talking about art, the work of Judith Glynn Brown is celebrated all over the world for her animal portraits. As a matter of fact, she's done book covers, you know, with animals, and she does portraits of animals all over. Like here she, you know, she's a great artist. But tell me about some of the, you do dogs and cats mostly, or dogs only?
I do dogs and cats, and the way I started doing dogs is I walk dogs, and I walk dogs in the park at 6:30 in the morning. We have a good group out there, 10 to 12 dogs walking around. Everybody brings their Danish, brings their coffee, and we walk. And then we talk about the movies and things we dreamt the night before and whatever else. And we get together every morning, rain or shine. And what happened was that I was asked to do a portrait of somebody's dog, and that's how I got started, Rhodesian Ridgeback, and so I've been doing
You have
that.
anything you can hold up to show? Yes?
Here's a portrait in oil of a poodle, and here's a mixed breed.
That's very beautiful. The telephone number for Judith Glynn Brown is 212-288-1599. Call at reasonable hours, you know, like proper hours, like, you know, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if she doesn't get the message personally, a machine will get it, and she'll call back a serious inquirer about a dog or cat or other pet portrait. Thank you. Very good. I want to say hello now to none other than Mr. Chris O'Grady, who's written a book, Some long love song to a long gone time, memoirs of a moviegoer from way back, published by Vantage Press. And this book is getting to be a very big success. He's got reviews in about 22 papers around the country, giving him laudatory commendation for the... But how did you happen to write this book?
Well, I was out in San Francisco staying with some friends, and I must have either been bending their ears repeatedly and for long periods of time, because they, after a while, they said, "Hey, why don't you write it?" Maybe they were, I thought years later, maybe they were just trying to shut me up.
What's the subject in the book? You know, very briefly, that is the most exciting. What do people say? Gee, I learned something. You know.
Well, it's about going to the movies back in the last half of the 1930s,
Yeah.
the first couple of years of the 1940s.
And the book is on sale wherever good books are sold.
You know, that kind of thing.
Good. I want to say hello now to Jim Grosso, been on the David Letterman Show, the Joe Franklin Show, and many other shows. He is an executive with some big government agency and so on and so forth, but in private life, he's an entertainer, he's a singer, but he whistles through his nose. And he's going to give us a very quick sample of how one whistles through the nose. Okay. I don't believe it, but it really happens. It's terrific. Gretchen Wiener is an actress, author, artist, and she's been in a number of films and television specials, and she's a writer as well, actress, author, and artist, and she is very, 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 very funny. She's a comedian of a very special kind, and very briefly, I'd like to say, what would you like to do for us today?
Oh, well, I won't inform anybody and everyone if they want to listen to myself. I'll be on the Ray Heatherton Show on Sunday, 8 o'clock in the morning, 90.3.
Ray Heatherton, a very nice gentleman.
FM dial.
Yes.
Actually, Mr. Roffman, I started out as a stage actress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
stage actress, right?
Skits, strips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now you've developed into a very special kind of comedian. You've been on television and radio.
I'm a versatile and I do other things. But, you know, I have the pleasure of appearing on Mr. Heatherton's show when anyone wanting you to listen on Sunday morning.
Good. Very good.
It's
We'll
my pleasure.
notify everybody we can. I want to say hello now to none other than Martin Fora.
That's right, Foro.
Foro, F-O-R-R-O. And he's a member of a family that are neighbors of mine, and I know them for years. And he's an entrepreneur, and once recently he met a friend who created a new kind of T-shirt, sweatshirt, T-shirt, and it has a message. Just tell us briefly what it is, please.
Mystery shirts are a unique, dynamic line of T-shirts and sweatshirts with a special question or a statement on them and a pull-for-answer pouch that reveals a detailed answer to these questions or statements.
Respectable answers? Yes, good. I hope so. Okay.
For example, if a guy walks up into a bar and says, "Hey, babe, what's your name, address, and phone number?" you should reply, "My damn business."
My damn business, not your business, my business. Okay.
And another sample that I have is, "What should you do when offered drugs?" Just say no.
Oh, that's very true. I echo that 1,000%. And okay, and the last one you have here is...
This is a sample of a zodiac sign. We have all the zodiac signs available in stock. This particular one is the sign Leo, represents me, which means self-confident, domineering, born leader.
Thank you. What's your phone number? Give us a phone number.
Sure, if you'd like to order your very own mystery shirt.
No, don't order. If you want to find more information about it. We can't say anything business-wise on this show. Go ahead.
Please call 212-866-0686.
212-866-0686. Okay, fine. Fran McGee is a very well-known model, actress, and personality around show business, and also helps other people with advice on how to break into show business, and she has a message for us today, and she has an exciting look about it today, too. What would you like to say very briefly, please?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm going to start Jello wrestling soon, and I brought in a picture that Jurgen Jacobson, genius photographer, has taken of me, and we are looking to find a publisher to do a book and do an exhibition soon. And I'm going to the Cannes Film Festival to do some promoting of some movies. I'm going to be Marilyn Monroe there when I get there. So I'll come on the show next time as Marilyn Monroe.
What's the phone number where people, an answering service number?
868-1162. 868-1162.
Yes,
That's area code 212.
I'd like to recommend a play produced by Julia Miles, artistic director of the Women's Project and Productions. It's called Nidecker, N-I-E-D-E-C-K-E-R, by Christine Thatcher, directed by Julianne Boyd, and it's at the Apple Core Theater at 336 West 20th Street here in New York City. It is a, I used to produce off-Broadway shows. I produced over 100 off-Broadway shows in the 1960s and early 70s with my friend John Bowman primarily. Those were good days of off-Broadway. Well, this is such a good, some off-Broadway shows are coming on to Broadway, but this is a show that's the best of off-Broadway. I recommend it to you highly. The Apple Core Theater, 336 West 20th Street. I don't know if I have said hello to everybody on the show thus far, but, what?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, who's that? Who's there? Oh, Karima. Karima, we really wanted to interview you today, but we just have like a minute for a dance. Karima is a well-known belly dancer, and she likes to drop in here occasionally when she's not booked for an appearance before a corporation executive meeting where she stimulates the corporations to go home and be in love with their wives. Okay, thank you very much. Here is Karima, a minute of Karima's famous belly dancing. Okay. We have covered everybody on the show. I want to just say that the Bambi Blake art show is going to be on the walls of Peggy Doyle's restaurant at 54 Franklin Street for a whole month and a half, right through until, you know, like middle of April and so on. I also want to say that Florence Morrison is working with many, many important representatives who are planning to put her into the big, major opera houses of the world, and she has the kind of voice that can be heard in the largest auditorium and the greatest concert hall. No hall is large enough. Remember that they do not use microphones in opera rendition. It's the natural voice of the singer, and she has that kind of a voice. And in closing, I just want to thank again Kim Thompson, president of the Thompson Model and Talent Agency, and I want to thank Joanne Campbell, who was a spokesperson for Irving Sims, S-I-M-E-S, and Son, the Furriers, who were kind enough to bring me beauty and fashion today on the Richard Roffman Show. And all I can say is that we can close with one more bit of the music from the recording of Miss Florence Morrison. We'll close with that music, and I thank you all for coming, and I just want to thank the gentleman from the natural, what's it called again, the company, your company?
National Care.
And where is it again, on Fifth Avenue?
501 Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Phone number is 212-682-4588.
I think the greatest new anti-pollution, environmental protection, and improvement idea that I've heard of in a long time. Here's the voice of Florence Morrison.
Thank you.